So we do
I have to
ask
ask
one question.
You know what the GOAT's number was? 23. And the thing about this podcast, REI Baddies, they also have 23 episodes in their first year. That tells you they are the GOAT of podcasting right now. They're filling the space between OGs in the business and brand newbies. They are absolutely killing it. And also, we need way more women investors that are doing podcasts. Why? Because right now, there's proof, scientific numbers. They're telling us that more women are entering into the business of real estate investing and developing than ever before. Here's the thing. You got to go check out their podcast every Monday morning at 6 a.m. These guys are such baddies, that they drop an episode early in the morning because only early birds catch that worm.
Welcome back, Baddies Nation, to another episode of REI Baddies, the show where real estate gets real. I'm your host, Rachel Davis.
And I'm Kate Baldwin. So, Rachel, how excited are you about this?
The most.
And so excited. I know that this is a second time around. I want to say thank you, Benjamin, for being such a great team player for us. But when Rachel sent you that LinkedIn request, you haven't really accepted that yet. So I don't know what's going on between you two. I know she really wants to be your friend on LinkedIn. She's really into the LinkedIn thing. So I think you need to figure that one out. But
yeah,
we'll be coming back to that.
I normally don't accept any invitation until I finish their podcast.
There you go, Rach.
Awesome. Well,
there Benjamin, you go. So I guess we'll have two, and then you have to be a fan on REI Baddies too.
Oh my gosh. Well,
definitely.
We can kick it off, Benjamin. Let's start at the beginning. Harvard-trained engineer, scientist. That's not.
I know. I feel like I'm in your presence, like I'm in holy presence, because I actually was on Match.com or Facebook.com this morning, and the guy was from Harvard. But damn, I wish he looked good. Because he was out with a splash. I always think that Harvard men are so cool.
Oh my gosh! I'm sure Benjamin's blushing. But
oh my god. You guys just got me so excited, but the thing is, I'm probably not one of those traditional Harvard people, but I'm so glad to hear the comment.
You own that bad boy. Listen, anyone that even can say, what? Hey, listen, nowadays with education the way it is, Harvard is still that high standard that you really just, it's hard to get into that school. So I think you should definitely promote that. So,
well,
I'm owning it.
I love it. So speaking of owning it, so we talked about that's not a typical path into creative finance. You know that, particularly laundromats. How the heck did you get here?
It's crazy. I used to have a crazy thought on, I'm going to climb my ladder up to the best school, the best lab, and work with the most famous professors and, work on the most cutting edge technology. And before I know it, I actually somewhat hit that. But when I hit that, I realized that it's not fulfilling. That's the problem. A lot of time you thought you would want something, but when you actually got it, it's like, this is different than what I thought.
Okay.
And so basically, long story short, I was basically handling the last pandemic with a bunch of great scientists, like 300 something, scientists across the nation. We all are trying to address this pandemic, and this is before COVID. This is called Ebola virus, if you have heard.
Yeah, of course.
So Ebola virus was very dangerous, but it's somewhat limited in the certain regions. But at the time, we're actually working on that project with DoD and basically report to the White House. At that time, everybody just worked so hard, and before we know it, we're working for 18 hours a day. Every single person, and we slept in lab. And there's a point. 4 of our colleagues in South Africa who were trying to capture the sample for us, they got infected, and that was before we even find a cure. Can you imagine what happened? The next morning, the 4 people who you have been meeting with every single day, they told us that they got sick. And everybody just working like crazy. We have to come back with the time, find a cure and find whatever. But you now find a cure isn't that easy, and also there's a FDA process you have to go through before you can actually apply to actual human.
What year was that,
It's
Benjamin?
2014, 13, 14.
How old were you then?
I was 24-ish.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy.
So so you're like, I'm miserable. Like the work is fulfilling, but the work is, it reminds me of when I was in the army, Benjamin. Like the work is fulfilling, but the work is physically demanding and
Yes.
psychologically just draining. So
Yeah.
how the heck did you get into creative finance and laundromats?
Yeah. So basically I went through all that, and the point that I realized, okay, I'm done, because everybody working around me are dirt poor. Like we were even hesitating to go out to have a good meal. We work 18 hours, but we're hesitating to go out to have a great meal. Can you believe it? When that happened, I was like, okay, I'm on the wrong side of the table. So I basically started to read some books, and Rich Dad Poor Dad was the first book that made me realize
Of
I can read,
course.
and I love reading. And so that books I actually just read like 10 times. And then before I know it, I bought my first property. And this is before me joining the creative world. I
Yeah.
basically started to buy my first property, and that property set me financially free. It's a co-living property. I Before co-living was a thing, I bought a property with primary resident like a FHA loan, and I turned it into
Like a
a room
mood,
for
like
rent.
roommates.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. Like
Yeah.
rent it out for students, and that basically just generated way more money than what I made from my W-2 at the time. So I was like, okay, there's something else in the world that I should explore. I don't really need to have a freaking Harvard degree to do all that. And so what I did was, okay, let me learn more. And then I found Pace Morby's community. And uh, after I joined, fast forward, I was working on a larger multifamily acquisition, um, basically apartment complexes, and the interest rate was just started to went up higher, back then. And I look across the industry, and none of the asset worth the debt. Basically, the debt are become so expensive or so severe that like what the asset can support. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? Do I go to the beach and just wait, or I do something more interesting? And then I look into, actually Codie Sanchez YouTube channel, and I
Yeah.
realized, oh, this is so fun.
Yeah.
And then I study every single videos that she posted out, and I was like, okay, after learning from Pace, there's so many different ways to structure things creatively, and learning from Codie, there's so many businesses out there that can get excited. So I combined the two, and I
And
realized, oh,
voila.
I can actually do more creative from Codie Central's perspective, but I can also do more business from like Pace community at the time, where he focused mainly in real estate.
So I love this so much because you literally took like the framework that works and you just pointed it at a target that you saw. And it's interesting that you did to Codie Sanchez, and it's like you merged the two. I haven't heard that before because I feel like we merge things all the time and we don't really talk about that. We talk about pace, we talk about Codie, but merging it's such a unique thing because they offer two totally different dynamics. Actually, I saw when I met Pace, which was at Clever, Codie also spoke. So it was kind of neat that I got to see both of them. It was Clever Summit in Miami in 2024.
Wow.
But yeah, I had never met Paige. I had never knew creative finance exists. I was a real estate agent in the Florida Keys. So, but yeah, Rachel, if you want to kind of go into the next.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to go off script a little bit with this question because I know from seeing you pitch at Dealmaker at Squat Up Summit that laundromats, you're like the king of laundromats. In fact, later I'm going to go off camera with you and talk to you a little bit about what I'm thinking of applying that I learned from you with some of our co-living projects. But so I did a Paladin lesson a while back about Chinese immigration to America. And I learned that in American policy, it made it darn near impossible for Chinese immigrants to get like jobs in the US. And many turned to laundromats because it was cheap entry fee, didn't require strong command of the English language. And I gotta ask, because I know you've been like laundromats have been your superpower. I gotta ask, do you think some of that heritage is one of the things that drives you, or is it just an adding factor to what you supply with regard to like solving a solution as people are wanting to exit those businesses?
So the main reason that I got into laundromat business is because of my investor background and skill set
Okay.
and mindset. And just for the record, I actually came from Taiwan. I don't came from,
Oh,
China. But
sorry.
no, don't worry about it.
Difference.
And the other thing is in the laundromat industry, the more if you have to name one population, I would say it's Vietnam, like people from Vietnam.
Really
Um,
interesting.
yes, actually, I talked to many owners, and when I see they're Asians, they're likely a Vietnam than Chinese.
Interesting. I'm
Um,
glad you taught me that.
yeah, and but as a Taiwanese, I am looking into a business that I can acquire creatively, but it should make all the business sense.
It
And
does
so
because it's really easy. It's not like you're working and you gotta maybe have a worker there and you add on like folding and laundry and stuff. So
that's
ideally it's
exactly what I thought.
oh, it's not
Exactly
like
what I
that.
thought.
It's not
Yeah.
like that.
So later on, I found that it actually is more demanding. It's requiring you to be overseeing the people. And honestly speaking, my first deals that I acquired a laundromat, it was a disaster. And
Okay.
I publicly talk about it. It's a great story how the seller was giving us half off, tearing apart the seller
Oh,
note and
well, I
whatnot that
wonder
pissed
why,
off
huh?
them. Yeah, but later on, what I have experienced was I underestimate what what liquidity I should have buying a business rather than buying a real estate. I mean, real
Okay.
estate, if you don't have the liquidity, you just let it sit there or rent it out and wait for
Okay.
liquidity. But the business, you are talking about people's paycheck. You
Right.
can't just not make the payroll because you don't have money, right? So
Right.
I learned so much from the first deal, and of course, we have since turned around, and now that is a great asset that we have. It's actually in a very great location in Boston area. So
Nice.
a lot to learn.
Well, actually, I would love to just talk more and get into that. So, how did you? I mean, I'm glad you brought it up a little bit. I know you've talked about it publicly, but so you bought it, and again, we've heard people talk about the benefits of buying a business because of cash flow, but you're like, oh my gosh, like I had to learn about liquidity. How'd you work through that?
Yeah. So at the point that I acquired that, I I basically raised money from sub to New England. Like that's when I just moved to Boston, and I basically just went to a accountability call and I said, hey, I found this deal. It's a laundromat. It's not typical real estate, but this is what it does, and I basically pitch everybody. Now I bring in about eight capital partners from the local community, and everybody chime in a little bit, and we ended up, I basically personally fund that deal as well. So day one, I realized, oh, I have to show up in the store because the previous staff was not going to be there. I didn't know that was an issue. That could be an issue until day one. And day one, it was the seller calling me and say, Benjamin, the store is closed. Nobody's opening up the store. The customer cannot come in. I said, wait, what? Don't you just buy a business and just let it sit there and make money? It doesn't work like that.
Not that easy.
Not that easy. Yeah, absolutely. So
I think it was that easy, Benjamin. I mean, I would imagine you still have to open the doors.
yes, but the thing is, I am not a people manager, and I basically just expect that to be somewhat passive because that's what people said, somewhat passive, right?
Okay, I think
Someone
we have
like
a
Kate.
definitely have a different definition of passive income because you
Yeah,
definitely had a passive income idea. No, you don't just put coins in the machine and then it does
no,
itself. No,
yeah, no.
no.
So anyway, I later
Were you
on,
in Boston at the time?
yes, I was in Boston, but I was like 15, 20 minutes away. And I was actually, sitting my kids at the time. And the
But
seller called me and the seller said, hey, Benjamin, you can't just let the store sit like that. It's okay. And ended up the seller went in to open the door for me. And then the seller decided to work for me for 2 weeks without getting paid.
Wow.
And she was like, Benjamin, I see you as my son. So I need
Oh,
you
that's
to
right. I
get
remember
your,
this story.
yes, I need you to come to the store so I can train you on every single thing you should learn about. I said, okay, let me do it. And so I show up, and then before I realized, I worked in the store for 3 weeks myself, personally handling
Good.
people's dirty laundry, folding people's underwear, and dealing with all the thing.
Hey, that's what you got to do, Bubba. You're in the real world now. You're not behind like
Ab-
a desk anymore.
Absolutely. So it's just a lot of lesson learned. So guys,
Yeah.
if you want to own a laundromat, if you're listening to this conversation, you need to know at least one thing. The day you buy a laundromat, your door at least need to be opened so people can come in to do their laundry.
They don't open no automatically.
Oh my
No, well, I
gosh.
mean, with that said, it's kind of funny. On a side note, I'm gonna find this video, I'm gonna post it for you, and I'm gonna tag you in it. So I was watching TikTok in the middle of the night or Facebook or something, and I'm not even kidding you, it's so ironic. So it was like the world's coolest laundromat, and it was really, cool laundromat. And then all of a sudden the back door opens and it's a bar. I was like,
I saw that. Actually, many people sent me that already. I probably have
well,
like 7 or 8 people send me that
okay,
already
well, I
every
thought
single day.
about you at like 3:30 this morning when I couldn't sleep. So
Thank
I
you
was
so much.
like,
So
okay
this
then.
is this is my personal take. I respect everybody trying to put some fancy stuff into laundromat. Like if you want to put a coffee shop, put a bar, put a casino, like put a candy shop, whatever. You do whatever you want to do. But my bottom line, which I told my team, the only reason why people are trying to put things into laundromat is because it's taking so much freaking time for people waiting for the laundry. So let's address the root cause instead of just trying to find a cure as a corrective
Add
action.
more laundry. Don't
Yeah,
add a bar, add more
yeah,
washing machines and
yeah,
dryers and
and
faster ones and more yeah.
absolutely. And also, like think about if you're going to try to taste a beer in a laundromat, like doesn't it taste like detergent?
It's not very good.
Yeah, right.
I
I
did
would
see.
rather I would rather sit in the barn or in the farm somewhere and enjoy my freaking beer instead of
Yeah,
a
I get
laundromat.
it. No, I get it. I get it. I get it. I just thought it was cool. And I think it's more the gimmick of it all. I think the bar was there first. I don't think people are actually, I mean, they maybe were doing laundry, but I think the idea was more the bar
Oh,
for this
love it.
particular situation. Yeah, it's so funny how the world has turned. I watch the Sunday morning show every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. It's CBS, and it's like about a year ago, and I think I sat on one of your Zooms right when I got inside of Pace Community. And I think you were having like Zooms about raising capital. And I was really new and I wasn't really sure, but I did sit through it. And I think I brought this up. But there was a laundromat in Charleston, South Carolina, that was just so intriguing to me. They did what you said. I mean, they have like readings, like people can go there and do their laundry. There, she just talks. Threw a brush at my mom. And they can read, like they have like reading groups. So, I mean, that's not so bad, but I just thought, oh my God, just so trendy to go to a washing and dryer. Like, I hate going there, if I have like the mattress cover that doesn't fit in my washer and dryer, I'm like,
Yeah,
I dread
yeah,
it. I'm like,
yes.
Let's actually, I'm going to totally, Kate's going to get so mad at me. I'm going to totally shift where we're at in this
oh,
interview.
I'm not. I'm rambling.
Let's talk about Squat Up Summit and Dealmaker.
I
Okay.
know.
So this was a huge moment for you, Benjamin, I'm assuming, because you're literally pitching 7 laundromats, this portfolio across 2 regions in Oregon. I think it's Bend and Salem. And
Oh
from
God, wait.
Barbara Corcoran, Vic Keller, a billionaire who sold multiple companies, to Warren Buffett. Let's tell the audience a little bit about more of what you were pitching and how the heck you got in that room.
Yeah, so for transparency, I was not originally on the top 3. I was not selected, but I believe my deal is the best deal because we have spent really 6 months working on the deals back and forth, and the deal dead multiple times. We were able to bring it back with creative strategy, creative structure, and whatnot. Now, the only reason why I was able to get on there was there's two people actually fall off. Their deal basically blew last moment, and then I was able to get on. And I got informed 48 hours before
But you were
what.
ready.
Yes, I was ready all the time. So if you're listening into this podcast, guys, if you're trying to pursue some sort of opportunities and the opportunity is saying no to you, just ignore that and just get yourself ready. And that's also what Barbara has taught us. Don't take no as an answer and always be ready. I was ready when they call me and say, Benjamin, is there any way that you could be ready in 48 hours? And
You're
I
like,
tell
yeah,
them
I'm
that
ready now.
I expect this call starting from day one.
I love that.
So I show up in that
I love that so much. So that's just anybody out there, Baddies Nation. You never know. You never ever know. This is probably one of the biggest moments of your career so far. And you were ready. You didn't hissy and puff and like bang around and be like ape set. I think it's amazing. But I also have to address one thing, Rachel. Hong songs. What, like Hong songs?
Long songs.
Hong songs. Yes, I said that on this podcast. Okay. Yes, I'm talking about dating and now Hong songs.
which is awesome.
Which
That
is
is
so awesome.
that is the single highest level product that our laundromat portfolio would be offering.
Well,
And
you're the
I'm
one that
telling you,
said you
this will
had to
be the
touch
fashion.
underwears. You're the one that had to touch the underwears. So now it's songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is a basically the marketing strategy that pays put on, which is awesome.
Listen, hey, whatever's, they say sex sells.
Well,
Yeah.
do you want to share with Baddies Nation in case there's anyone who might be interested in what that raise is for? Do you want to do top
Yeah, let's
level
do that.
what your
Yeah. So
pitch was?
yes, thank you. And so basically, this is a portfolio out of basically out of Oregon, and there are 7 stores included in this portfolio. This is a deal that we have structured heavily creatively. Right now, we have about 70% of the purchase price are being put under seller note.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
basically, we're having about 30% that will need to come out of pocket. This is a portfolio that will generate $1.3 million EBITDA. And if you are not familiar with what EBITDA means, things cash flow. This is basically the money that you get to net after all the operational expense.
And that's yearly.
Annually, correct. And by the way, 1.3 million was the number from last year, which was happening to be the better year for the world, but worse year for the business. And I'll tell you why. They have this firefighter contract that they basically help firefighter departments to deal with or wash all the fire hoses. And if there's no fire out there, there's no business. They used to have a shit ton of business from them. Last year, they did not have any fire. And
Which is
that's still
crazy.
resulting 1.3 million EBITDA on this portfolio.
Okay, but you gotta explain that. Like, what do you mean the hoses? You put them in
So
washing machines?
yes, so basically, have you seen like firefighter try
Yeah.
to, hook up all these
Yeah,
hoses?
yeah,
Those
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hoses are actually washable. Those are not supposed to be like just use it and then just let it sit and then you reuse it with because it's high pressure. And if there's any dust, any residue in there, it can easily torn apart that hose because it's high pressure, right? So it have to be clean and absolutely clean before they use for the second time.
So is this like
Which
in every single city? Like this has to happen? Do some of the actual fire stations clean their own hoses, maybe? I've never
They
heard of this in my entire life, and I literally live in a town. The majority of my friends are firemen because we live in a small town. It's either you're a
Wow.
fireman or you work for the city. I've never in my life heard there a washing machine in the hoses.
That was also the first time that I heard this when I look at the deal, but it actually a contracts out of a couple of state. In addition to Oregon state, there's
Okay.
also other state which I will not disclose here, but there are
I'm on it.
yeah, I'm just saying that it's a big contract, and when that happened, when there's no fire happening, there's no business, and the business still generated $1.3 million EBITDA. This tell you how powerful this business it
But why
was,
do they want to sell it?
because the owner is having another portfolio that he's trying to actively build up, and he could not focus if he still need to run this massive mount like monster,
So
right?
how do they find you? How do they get a hold of you, or where do you have it on a platform that they can overview, or do they email you?
So, if people want to get access to the deal, just follow me on my Instagram at
Okay.
Benjamin Huang 14. Check
Yep.
out my story. I put the link and all the update out there. That's the best way to stay tuned. This deal was sent by one of the bird dog from the community. And actually multiple bird dogs sent me the same deals, but really the first one get to claim the spot. That is the deal that we have to go through so many underwriting. In fact, this is probably the single deal that we spend the most on due diligence. We spent almost
What?
On due
six
diligence.
figure on due diligence.
Why?
There,
What are you doing?
so basically, this is what happened. When we just get started with the deal, there's a couple of people trying to say, "Hey, Benjamin, let me fund the deals in its entirety. You don't need to go raise. You don't need to do anything. Let me look at the deal." And I said, "Okay, take a look." And then that person who have no experience on laundromat and whatsoever and say, "This is not a great deal." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, we're experienced on real estate. This is not a great deal." And I said, "I have no idea what you're just talking about." Then later on, I was having a conversation with my team, and I said, "What would be the absolute gold standard that nobody can ever challenge that this is a good deal?" Because in my eye, that's a awesome deals. And then we basically just reach out to basically the third party firm that Goldman Sachs and many other basically Wall Street firm would
Sure.
hire when they do an acquisition.
Right. Oh.
We hire that third party firm. They generate a very thick report, go through every single financial aspect with the advice on this is not a red flag, this is a yellow, this is a blue, this is a green. Proceed when you check all these things off. This is a great deal and whatnot. That report cost us almost 6 digit.
That's bonkers. I haven't heard
Okay.
anyone talk about like that kind of a figure for a due diligence period.
Let me ask you something. Also, like with that said, I mean, is it everything before when you were sitting there and saying that this is a good deal? Come on, you are way smarter than majority of the folks inside of our community. Let's just put that out there. You're not like some kid off the block that decided to wholesale or
Hey now. No, I'm just kidding.
you're educated too, girl. What are you talking about? We both have very educated, My point is going through that. Would you have done it? Like, I know it's like you can't really say this because it's done, but in hindsight, would you have done that? Again, would you have hired this third party? Because it sounds like you already kind of knew
I knew
that
it,
this was a good
but
deal.
yes, I knew it. But I also want the world to know that I am committed to the level that I do not want you to trust what I believe in. I want you guys to see it from the third party. And better yet, we are training our existing team. So in the future, these kind of so-called forensic underwriting will be one of the functions from my team.
Exactly.
Meaning, we're going to offer this service to
Right.
people who want to buy businesses.
Right.
And at the same time, we're going to have it applied to every single of our deal moving forward.
Yeah, it's more of an educational thing too. I'm sure you learned a lot on how to dig into something like that. And that's pretty much, you paid for that too.
Yeah.
Benjamin, I'm going to take this as another training opportunity because you talked about this deal was brought to you by a bird dog. And, I work with bird dogs myself, just here in Charlotte with what I'm looking for. And I know that, what the going rate is for a bird dog on a real estate deal, but a business, the due diligence period is so long. And I want you to take this as an opportunity to talk to bird dogs who want to bird dog for businesses on a very high, like wave tops level. what that looks like with regard to working with someone like yourself who's buying businesses, and the timeline, I think, more than anything, for payment. So that way people just can manage their expectations.
Yes, perfect. Thank you for the opportunity. So when people are looking for deals, first, if you are finding anything that is available online, meaning if you give me a link, I can just click on it and it will just show everything up. That is not a deal. Meaning that is already in my
It's
funnel.
already in your radar.
Yes, so you don't need to send that. Second, if you happen to know someone who are looking to retire and they're not yet even trying to sell or prepare any financial, that's likely a deal.
Yeah,
However,
just takes time.
the yes, that's a sign. And the other aspect is that it like sending out a business deal, it typically takes us 3 to 6 months to really close on one huge acquisition. Meaning you can send me 10 deals, and if you're lucky, you're the one who we pick a deal from you and then we acquire, then you will get paid in 3 months.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is just not as frequent as real estate, right? So this is also why we now have become more selective and only do the larger deals, because you're going to spend the same time to do a deals. You might as well just do a much bigger deal than a smaller deal. So we're now basically saying, hey, if they're a small deal, great. We're going to open up to our basically community and say, hey, those are deals that we have on the road. Those are likely good deals, but you guys do your own due diligence. We're going to have it offload to people in the community to buy instead of us buying it.
What are
So
you
where's
looking
that?
for an EBITDA perspective? What's a good deal for you then?
So at the moment, our focus is any portfolio that has 60 or more machines, washer plus dryers. This is one requirement. The second requirement is it have to net at least 20K a month. I'm talking about net. And the reason why I'm framing it this way is most bird dogs are able to understand these language instead of telling them EBITDA or STE or whatever.
Perfect.
So if you see a deal that net 20K or more and have 60 more machine, then we would like to take a look at it.
I love it. I'm teasing when I say
Anywhere in
I'll put my
particular?
affiliate code for that right now so I can just send people your way. I'm kidding.
Awesome.
What were you gonna ask, Kate?
And I was like, anywhere in particular? Are you looking to do like Boston area? Because I know you're in Oregon. Like, does it matter where it's located?
We're now buying nationwide. The
Okay.
only thing that we will be hesitant is the safety. Like we can deal with like lower financial performance, but we cannot deal with bullet and truck. That is our bottom line.
Yeah, I can get that. That would, yeah, for sure.
So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I'm gonna bring up the quiet thing that a lot of us know that we're there at Squat Up Summit, but I'm gonna tease you about it because I'm sure a lot of people have mentioned it. You referred to the aging out population and old people in front of Barbara Corcoran and
Yep.
Vic Keller as people in their 50s or 60s. What has been like, because you laugh about it now, like what has been kind of the response from people? Like what'd you learn from that? Because you've taken it in very good stride.
You have no ideas how fortunate, how blessed I am. I am surrounding myself in a community, everybody just filled with love. I don't think you can ever,
Re-
offend
Duplicate what
them
we
in
have.
any way. But I have to say that's probably why I've never heard back from Barbara. No, just kidding.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen, if
I
I
mean,
looked at it, if I look that good when I'm Barbara's age, yeah, I'd be happy. She looks amazing for her age.
well, I mean, I did personally send them a message and thank them and all that. And so I think that is one thing that pays that I think we should give credit to Pace Morby. Um, I was nervous as hell when I was up there, and Pace knew that I was not intentional. So he basically spin it in the way that everybody feel the love instead of feeling like, what the F is this kid talking about?
Well, you are young. And honestly, listen, Ben, if I was your age in your position, I would have said the exact same thing. I probably would have said the exact same thing at my age, which is 45. So I say things like that too. So if it makes you feel any better, I probably would have said the same thing. You old
I
people.
think I think in a lot of ways, Benjamin, it makes you more relatable, right? Like it's very easy for the community to see people on a big stage and be like, "Oh my God, they've made it. They're it." And we're just like you're just people. Like you're
I mean, you
just
were
people.
24 years old trying to find a
Sure for Ebola.
cure for Ebola. You're now on a stage with Barbara. I mean, you were in the back stages of life. Like you weren't on stage every day since you were like you were doing amazing things, but you weren't like front and center. So you've come a long way since that moment. And I think it actually brings character, like Rachel just said. Like it makes you real too. I just think it was beautifully said. I think it was adorable, to be
I
honest.
think I think to the end of the day, I think all the credit go to the people who have participated in my journey. I have
Yeah.
lots of coaches. I have a lot of mentor. I have a lot of great friends. Like you guys, like the way you guys, talk, the energy, the molecule that you guys are just releasing, that I get to, like put myself in. That is just, you know, the the thing that built me to the today's version of me. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate of everything.
So I
Love
want
it.
to kind of talk about, you said you have children.
Two. I have two. I
Huh?
have a 3 and 5.
Oh my gosh, you're busy. So does your wife partake in your adventures with you, and or is she sort of just
So
a
so
mom?
she and I, when we got married, she had the mindset that okay, we're both high income earner. We're going to crush it. We're going to make high income and we're going to do all the cool shit. But the point that like probably 2 years into the marriage, I told her that I realized that probably W2 is a dumb idea. And she was like, "What are you talking about?" Until probably fast forward another 5 to 7 years, she didn't really believe in what I believe in or my I'm gradually shifting to. But she was very busy with the kid, and I basically told her that, well, with my track records, if I could make a lot more money within 2 years comparing to what you had built for 10 years, let me do this try. Let me do this, and you don't worry about it. I promise you, there's nothing for you to worry about financially. And so she basically just let me do what I do until recent that she started to see, oh, you're actually doing something amazing. And a lot of our friends saw me on social media and like, Benjamin, what are you doing? Like, how do I get into your deals? Like that is crazy. Like,
See, and
and
that's actually
That's super cool.
that
yeah,
is because you do have that background. So that background, Harvard background, I mean, there's just so many possibilities that you can utilize because of what you came from. And I'm just happy that she's supportive of you, because it's definitely like, I mean, I'm just what keeps running through my head, to be honest, is your parents, like how their reaction was. Because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this kid, they put him through Harvard. He's like Harvard grad, and now he's like buying laundromats. His parents are probably freaking out. Were they? Or are
we
they?
we we had a serious conversation about 2 years ago when I went back home to see my parents since 10 years
Okay.
ago.
Wow.
And they first of all they were excited to see me in person because we haven't seen each other for 10 years. But basically they were like, Benjamin, I see you start to post stupid things on your social media. Like, stop doing that. Like, you need to be a low key and just don't touch all the things. Just, do the work and just do it. Good job. And I said, Dad, let's look at your past 60 years. You've been working so hard. You've been doing all the right things. You've been teaching me doing all the right things. But right now, you are still somewhat not able to afford a flight ticket to come see me. And I said, I do not want to be in that position. I want to be in the position that whenever I want, I can fly to see you guys. And also, whenever my kids want or I want, I can go fly to see my kids. And I said, I may be making the biggest mistake of my entire life, but let me make the mistake. Like, after all, you don't want me to make this mistake when I become a 60 years old, right?
I love
Okay.
that. And
We really go ahead, Rachel.
I was going to real quick, or not real quick. I know you also have MIT capitalists because you're trying to help other people who were in your exact position. Can you explain what that is a little bit more and what caused you to want to set it up? And then we can go into the lightning round, Kate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Before I get into business acquisition, I was working on a thing called MIT Capital, and MIT actually stands for multiple things. One is the MIT, the school that
Right.
basically focus on being engineering perfect or engineering, sophisticated. The other meaning is made in Taiwan. Basically, I see myself as a person being made in Taiwan. I want, like, whatever I do in the world, in the big league, I want to make Taiwan proud. I want to make them think that, oh, that kid was originally born in Taiwan. So
Yes.
that was my mindset. And MIT Capital was focusing on helping people get into larger apartment complexes. I did the syndication and I have some investor back then, and that was before I started to acquire businesses. Now knowing a lot more ways, more creative way to do business, I am basically retiring that phase out
Okay.
because right now I see a lot more thing I can do with my current way and current approach.
Yeah,
Well,
you
now
can
I
always
feel
come
like
back to it.
I was gonna say, I feel like a total jerk now being like, oh, I watched this Paladin thing, knowing that I'd seen about MIT and not putting that together. So again, the same way you called 50 and 60-year-old old, I did the same thing on the show, everyone. So I'm
You
really
know what
sorry.
though, but I don't think it's like retired forever. I mean, it's definitely like something that you can do I mean, you're already making your country proud. And there's not a lot of people that I know that are actually from Taiwan. So I want to know one question. I don't know if anyone out there in Baddie Nation knows this. So you were born and raised, and then did you get accepted to a college in the United States? Is that how you
Yes,
got
I
here?
did. When I was 17 years old, I came to the state. And back to that time, I didn't know much about English. I didn't want to learn about English. I hate memorizing anything. I like to figure things out. So I'm very good on science and math, but I'm terrible on languages. But I came to the state, pursue my bachelor, and I got my master, and I was about to get my PhD at Harvard, but I declined it because I realized that that's not what I want. So basically, that's what happened. I ended up working in at Harvard instead of actually getting a degree from Harvard.
Are you okay with that decision?
Perfectly okay.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I think it's worked out pretty okay.
No. I do too. I think it's way better. I think
You
I
know,
just
there's one story I have to mention about. There's one Harvard professor who teach economy recently get evicted from a house that he lived in for the past 40 years
why.
because of he have no idea how the money works.
And he was teaching people how to rate like
He was
spend
teaching
money.
economy in at Harvard.
I
That
laughed
tells you a
at
lot, right?
It
I
does. And maybe he's an addict. I don't know.
well, I'm laughing, not laughing, Benjamin, but you're highlighting. So Kate's never had a W 2. She's always been an entrepreneur, where I've had a W 2. And when I worked at a nonprofit, some of the people in my nonprofit had PhDs. One guy, his heat stopped working and he couldn't afford to have it fixed. And I just remember, for me, on the pathway to entrepreneurship, that was like a big aha moment of like, wait a minute, like I've been told, like I have 2 master's degrees and I work with PhDs and they can't freaking afford things.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with this?
Job
So
is just over broke. And this is exactly what people should know about. Getting a job is a guarantee failure. It just takes time, right? For you to get that sense. It's a guaranteed. It just, like it or not, it's guaranteed failure.
what would you say to someone? And then I promise we'll do the lightning round. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm just fascinated by Benjamin.
No. You can keep going because I have another question. Keep
Benjamin, what would
going.
you say to somebody right now who's on the verge of entrepreneurship, but like is afraid to go completely all in? Is there like a pathway or something that you would suggest to them, or is it a
Yes.
mindset thing? Oh, perfect.
Yes. If you know of a way for you to make the money you need to survive, do that, but try to preserve as much time as you can to learn about entrepreneurship, to put into entrepreneurship. And if there is a a job or a position that will help you gain what you need to learn
The
about
knowledge, yeah.
entrepreneurship, go do that. Because that should be the only reason why you accept a position. You're
Yeah.
going to that position to learn, not going in for the paycheck.
All right, I just have to bring this up since you're like total where's AI in your world right now?
AI in my world, since I exit However, I have found myself that I intentionally done my brand down. I focus on what I enjoy the most on acquisition, structuring deals, and other things, talking to a seller. AI stuff now I have offloaded to the people who are just so nerdy that they cannot survive
But you're
without
using it
exploding AI
within your
every day.
company now.
Yes, so we recently have integrated AI agents, not just on the operations of the business, meaning whatever we acquire, we put it under operational business, and that business is now AI integrated. And on the acquisition side, we also have AI integrated, and this is actually the first race that we're going to heavily utilize AI. So we'll see how it goes.
What
Um,
platforms are you guys using?
for the race,
Are you using Claude, OpenClaw?
I think it's Open Cloud or Cloud Code. I don't really know the name,
Okay.
so yeah.
I love, by the way, that Benjamin, who went to Harvard and
I know.
worked there, referred to other people as nerdy. I think that might be one of my favorite things to clip from this, brother.
He's like the nerdy guys.
Yeah, because I was the cool Harvard guy.
I'm like the cool dude. I mean, you went to school at 17. Benjamin, this has been amazing. We're going to do this thing what we call rapid fire. It doesn't ever seem to work out this way, but I'm going to try with you.
She does her best.
I did my best. Well, no, you're technically not supposed to overthink this. This is like questions with answers that are quick. All right?
Let's do it.
You ready?
Yep.
Real estate deal or business deal? Which gets you out of bed faster?
Business deal.
One resource every baddie needs to know right now.
One resource. Instagram.
Instagram. Yep. Brand.
What do people get most wrong about creative finance when applying it outside of real estate?
You don't need money after acquisition.
Last one. Are you finally going to accept Rachel's LinkedIn request?
1,000%.
I love it. Benjamin, we actually close every episode the same way with a single question. And every guest brings something different. I'm really excited to hear how you answer. So, Benjamin, what makes an REI baddie?
Just for the fact that you two get to have these kind of conversation without a lot more preparation or a lot more script or a lot more like setup, that we can speak freely and we get to make fun of each other and still love each other. This make the podcast the best. And by the way, if you're listening to this podcast and you're not following or not subscribing, then I don't know what you're doing. Just hit that freaking subscribe button.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Benjamin.
Well, then I'll be dang. We don't even have to give our little bump that button
I know.
shout out. How about
Oh,
that?
I love it. Benjamin, this was literally everything. Thank you so much for coming on and going way off of the script. I think the way this conversation went, though, was exactly where it needed to. You are absolutely a baddie. Thank you.
You
I
are.
appreciate it.
I mean, this was so much fun.
I enjoy so much. Appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Well, Baddies Nation, as you know, Benjamin is the conclusion of we released Celeste, then Christy, and now Benjamin. So we will be going away from this format for a little bit. But as you all know, we drop a new episode every Monday at 6 a.m. And Benjamin's right. We're currently at 541 subscribers. And if you are not subscribed, hit that button right now.
Stay baddie.
Stay baddie.
Don't hang up. So I'm going to